Hello everyone, Assalamualaikum. Welcome to chapter 5, Functions and Graph. So the first subtopic for this chapter 5 is 5.1 Functions. Let's go to the first LO. The first learning objective is define a function. A function is a relation in which every element of set X is matched with only one element of set Y. Okay? Before you understand that definition, let's go to the concrete example. Mungkin lagi cepat faham. Okay, so now you will see that here, element A, this is called as element A, this is element B, and element C in set A. Okay, this is set A, and this is set B. So, element A goes to number 3. Element B goes to number 2. Element C goes to number 1. Alright, so now you will see that every element goes to one element. Okay, and therefore we call it as 1-to-1 function. So you write it down. It is 1-to-1 function. Let's go to the second example. Second example, you akan nampak element A goes to number 2. Manakala element B goes to number 1. Tapi element B juga akan goes to number 3. It is sort of like one element goes to many element on set B. In set B. So we call it as from one element goes to many element, and so it is called as 1-to-many function. Okay, dan example yang terakhir sekali, you will see that element A goes to number 3, element B goes to number 3 also, dan juga element C goes to number 3 also. This is called as many element from set A goes to only one element in set B. And so we call the function as many-to-one function. Many-to-one function. Persoalannya, di antara tiga function di sini, mana satukah yang betul-betul dipanggil sebagai function? So, you gotta read the definition again. Let's read. Function is a relation in which every element of set X, every element of set A lah contohnya. Kita tengah bercakap tentang set A dekat sini. Okay. Is matched with only one element of set B. Okay. Set B lah. Saya sebut set B lah sebab saya tengah guna contoh B. Okay. So now dia kata dekat set B tu mesti hanya ada one element sahaja. So which one yang dekat set B ni ada one element sahaja? So in this case, pada set B yang ada one element sahaja yang di-matchkan itu adalah 1-to-1 function dan juga many-to-one function. Do you understand? So pada set B itu, pada set Y itu mesti hanya di-matchkan pada one element only, barulah dipanggil sebagai function, which is 1-to-1 function dan many-to-one function sahaja yang dipanggil sebagai functions. Okay, and so this is called as a function. While one-to-many, no, not a function. Many-to-one, happy, a function. Okay, sekarang ni kamu nampak perbezaan yang sangat jelas ya, di mana pada elemen pada set B ataupun set Y, okay, kita kena pastikan bahagian set Y ini ataupun set B ini mesti mempunyai one element yang di-matchkan sahaja. So one-to-many is never a function. That's all. It's very easy. Okay, so now let's go to the second LO, which is identify a function from the graph by using vertical line test. So, tadi adalah kita menggunakan arrow diagram untuk tentukan function. Sekarang ni kita ada second method, iaitu from the graph, identify a function from the graph by using vertical line test. Vertical line test is line yang menegak. Vertical means line yang menegak. So, consider the graph shown below whether they represent functions or not. Okay, so now we have a function over here. Saya ada contoh yang pertama. Over here this is what we call as reciprocal function. Nanti you akan belajar later on. So, sekarang ni kita just nak tentukan adakah function ini, adakah graph ini functions ataupun tidak. Macam mana nak tahu? It is just very easy. You just do a straight line, a vertical straight line here. Okay? And then what you should do is just put a dot yang intersect. Put a dot that the line and the graph intersect with each other. Okay, menyentuh lah, yang bertembung. And therefore, how many intersection point yang you nampak? There are only one point. Okay, so kalau you only see one point yang bertembung di antara line dan juga graph tu bertembung hanyalah satu point saja, bermaksud this graph is literally a function. That's all. It's very easy. So this is a function. This is what a vertical line test is all about. Okay, vertical line test is a graphical method used to determine whether relation in X is a functions. So the vertical line cuts the graph at only one point. Itu je sebenarnya. The graph cuts, this is how you should write it. The graph cuts at only one point. Okay, when the graph cuts at only one point, it means the graph is a function. That's all. Okay, let's go to the second example. You will see here, you make a vertical line test over here, a vertical line over here. This is what you call as vertical line. After you have made a vertical line, you cari intersection point. Intersection point bermaksud yang bertembung. You buatlah dotted yang besar macam ni. Bagi nampak yang dia ada berapa banyak. Dia ada 2 point kali ni. So kalau ada 2 point kalau ada 2 point di mana line dia bertembung, adakah dia function? Totally, it is not a function. Okay, a function is only where the graph cuts at only one point. Therefore, this is not a function. Manakala go to the third example, you make a vertical line over here, and you find that there is only one point. There is only one point that cuts over there. So this is a function. This is a function since you boleh buat conclusion in your own words actually. Since the graph cuts at only one point. That's all. As easy as ABC, how you make the conclusions. Okay, that is called as the vertical line test. Let's go to the third LO. Now, identify one-to-one function by using algebraic approach or horizontal line test. So, tadi vertical line test. Sekarang ni, you boleh kesan a function. Okay, kali ni dia specific lah. Dia kata dia nak identify one-to-one functions by using algebraic approach ataupun horizontal line test. So, let's start with the first example over here. So the first example over here show that the following function is one-to-one function. Okay, sekarang ni dia sangat spesifik lah. So one-to-one function ni banyak dalam PSPM dan tutorial questions punya soalan. Okay, so now let's start with the algebraic method. Okay, saya akan tunjukkan dua method lah. Satu algebraic method dan juga lagi satu horizontal line test. Okay, so algebraic method is very easy. What you need to do is just start by letting. Okay, just start by let fx 1 okay is equals to 3x1 minus 2. Okay, apa yang saya cuba buat sekarang ni adalah saya daripada dia x sahaja, saya assume that x has becoming x1 dan juga x1 lah. Okay, saya just tukarkan x tu kepada x1, that's all. I name it, that's all. And then I'll add another f function f with x2. Saya namakan x2 pula. Saya just bagi nama, okay? That's all. Function dia tetap sama. 3x minus 2 is the same function. It's just that I name it a new name. X1 then x2, let it. And then I also must understand that when we do algebraic method, we are expecting fx1 will be equal to the fx2. Kita nak equalkan dia together and then we try to solve it. Okay, when we try to solve it, let me just duplicate this thing and this thing. We make them equal it together and we will see that, oh, this negative 2 and negative 2 is actually 0. Okay, dan kita akan ditinggalkan dengan 3x1 is equal to 3x2. Okay, and then we can solve it, simplify it by cutting the number 3, divide both sides with 3 by 3, and then we will be left with x1 is equals to x2. So bila di mana kamu berjumpa dengan x1 is equals to x2, it means that the function is one-to-one function. Itu je. Bila kamu dah berjumpa dengan f1 is equals to, x1 is equals to x2. Bila you dah berjumpa, yang literally they are equal to each other. Okay, itu yang dimasukkan algebraic method. If you have let function dia is function of x1 is equals to function of x2, then you will meet x1 is equals to x2. You have to simplify it by yourself until you see x1 yang equal to x2. Barulah function tersebut dipanggil one-to-one function. And then you buatlah conclusion. Macam tu saja. Okay, very easy. Conclusion sangat penting di sini. Kalau dia minta show, you know, this word show will be a lot in exams. Okay, so when there is a show, there must be conclusion. Okay, now let's do horizontal line test. Miss, macam mana nak lukis ini? This is very easy, my dear. This is what we call as linear graph. Okay, this is linear graph because I know this is a linear function. Okay, linear function yang mana? Yang positif ke yang negatif? Linear graph, I know it because it is a positive 3x. Positive 3x gonna give me around, well, here I have here I have negative 2. Miss, how do you know this? Negative 2 is the y-intercept. Okay, let me just label here. This is what you call as y-intercept, negative 2. And then I know it's going to the first quadrant. This is a positive linear. And then saya label y is equal to 3x minus 2. Okay, and then when y is equals to 0, dekat sini koordinat dia adalah y dia 0. Therefore, I have to find x koordinat dia, iaitu 2/3 Okay. Kalau saya tak nak letak koordinat pun tak apa. Saya letaklah 2/3 sahaja. So that is how easy you draw linear graph. Okay. So now that's not the point about this video. The point of this video is about horizontal line test. Horizontal line test is yang mendatar. Tadi yang mendegak. Vertical is mendegak. Ini mendatar pula. So vertical line test, you just simply made a straight line over there. Okay, and then you carilah intersection point dekat situ. How many intersection point? There is only one intersection point. Therefore, since you boleh terus tulis jawapan, conclusion, since the graph cuts only once. Okay, cuts the graph only once. Nak katanya the cuts only one point lah. Okay. Up to you guys. You can choose any word yang you comfortable. Okay. Since the graph cuts only once, then the function is 1-to-1 function. Yay! That's all. That is how easy you use horizontal line test, and that is how easy you just write down your conclusion. Okay, horizontal line test wajib lukis graph. Okay, first step lukis, second step cari dia punya horizontal line test, and then third step just write down whether it is 1-to-1 or not. Okay, let's go to the next example. Saya tunjuk lagi satu lagi example so that you guys are very confident with this algebraic method. So now again, saya repeat ya. Kita mesti startkan dengan let. Let apa? Let F. Oh, kali ni bukan F. Kali ni adalah G. So now, let G x1 is equals to x1 cube plus 7. Dan juga G x2 is equals to x2 cube plus 7. Okay, saya just bagi nama. As I said, I just name it into x1 then x2. I just assuming it first. And then I also know that the gx1 will be equal to the gx2. That is the meaning of algebraic method. Kita nak try to equal them together. We will try to equal them together. And therefore, we copy. Bila kita dah copy, kita equalkan dia bersama. And then we will see that 7 minus 7 is 0. Therefore, wow, I can see that x1 cube is equals to x2 cube. And then cube ni boleh dihapuskan dengan cube rootkan both side. Okay, we call this as cube root both side. When you cube rootkan dia both side, that cubic will disappear. Bila dia disappear, tinggallah x1 is equals to x2. And this is really what you want. Therefore, you just write down the conclusion saying that the function is 1-to-1 function. Ta-da! Easy as ABC. Just make sure you do let and let. Assuming it first untuk algebraic method sangat penting. Let's go to the horizontal line test. Now you have to be good in drawing cubic functions. So now here, saya tak akan ajar secara detail. What I'll do here is I'll sketch to you the cubic function. Plus 7 means this is y-intercept. So 7 is around here lah. Okay. And that cubic will be becoming, how do I know this? Because this is a positive cubic. This is the basic shape. Cubic mesti dilukis daripada first quadrant turun ke bawah. So here goes. Oops. Okay. Go down. Yay. Pretty. So this is y equals to x cubed plus 7. Okay. The thing is, I must use horizontal line test. Cara untuk guna horizontal line test, I must put a straight line Pada mana-mana sahaja, you nak letak sini pun boleh, you nak letak atas sikit pun boleh. Yang penting ada straight line yang mendatar. This is called as horizontal line test. And then you carilah ada berapa banyak intersection point. Ada 1 intersection point sahaja. Very happy. When you have done that, you just put conclusions, since the graph cuts only once. Since the graph, satu graph saja, the graph cuts at only 1 point. Okay, at only 1 point pun boleh, ataupun cuts only once, sekali je. Therefore, then the function is 1-to-1 function. That's all. As easy as ABC. Okay, just make sure ikut soalan. Kalau dia minta horizontal line test, you buatlah. You kena lukis dulu. You must lukis dulu dan you label dulu. After dah lukis, dan buat line horizontal di sini dan cari how many intersection point dan buatlah conclusions. Itu kalau dia minta horizontal line test. Kalau dia minta algebraic method, kenalah assume apa? Name it. Assume x1, assume x2. I mean gx1, gx2. Okay? Dah assume, barulah let them together. And there you go. Until you meet x1 must be equals to x2. Barulah buat conclusion saying that function is 1-to-1 function. All the best.